Every day I kind of walk in and I put my purse down and I'm like, all right, what are we doing to get to the end of the day? Because if we can get to the end of the day, we can get to the end of the week. We can get to the end of the week, we can get to the end of the month, and then eventually we're going to get to the end of the year. And if we just keep doing the right thing every day, and if we just keep communicating, and if we just keep pushing ourselves, our other team members, our donors, our recipient communities appropriately and just a little bit, we're going to make progress.
All right, so good afternoon, everybody. I'm here with Abigail from Thai Harvest SOS. We just had the most amazing interview, and I think that you're going to love this one. We cover everything from having a laser-like process focused on your organization, the myth of the administration costs, and just going from getting through one day to 1 week to 1 month to changing the world. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. I know I sure as hell did. And if you do, please like, share, and comment on her Facebook page, on every Facebook page. Thank you very much, Evan. This was hysterical. So tell me about your operation. Like, how many trucks do you have? How much food do you process?
21 food donors right now all over Bangkok. Wow. We're processing anywhere from, it's averaging out to about 900 kilos a day, because we do get some bulk in every once in a while. 900 kilos a day in about 22 recipient communities throughout the city of Bangkok.
And do you move it, like you get it that afternoon, it has to be out your door by the evening? Or?
Yeah, pretty much. So anything that's my trucks, I have two vehicles. I have one composting vehicle and I have one edible vehicle. Okay. They start at 7 a.m. and then they're parked back on premise by 7 p.m. Okay. If any of the food, the compost is all managed within a day.
Right.
If any of the edible comes in after 2 or 3 p.m., that's what our storage coolers downstairs are for, and that goes out the next day because we have got to get it to the community in time to prep dinner.
Right.
Otherwise, it's going to go to waste for them. Also, we're working through a lot of agencies that don't have the fridge storage, and we've done food safety training, but we would rather manage it for as long as possible. A, to save them on those storage costs, and B, to ensure that it's of the highest quality that we can give it to them, and it's served at the highest quality that we can predict to the best of our ability.
So how do you look at your system? Like, what are the flaming hot risks that you try to manage every day?
The flaming hot risks, of course, your first one's food safety. Okay. So we don't take cooked rice. We don't take anything cooked with coconut milk. It's got a high volatile rate. After it gets heated, it kind of like goes on this crazy spectrum of bacteria within almost 45 minutes.
So don't eat cold curry on the street.
Really don't. But it's just one of those things that we know that that's a hot point, especially here in Southeast Asia. That's a lot of foods made with it. And we do not take cooked seafood at all. We do not take frozen shellfish at all.
Because?
Those are your biggest risk factor categories, for sure. The next is, I guess, cultural sensitivity with the food. A lot of halal communities, a lot of communities that wouldn't eat the food that we were given. So we spend a lot of time trying to match out. You bring a Thai family a box of baguettes. They don't know what to do with it, so it's ending up in the landfill anyways. You bring Vietnamese refugees a box of baguettes, they're thrilled. Same with, we cater a lot of
That's true.
we cater a lot of large Indian weddings. This is a huge Indian wedding hub. Pakistani refugees, Nepalese, Sri Lankan, all love it. But my Vietnamese are like, whoa, what is this? What is this? I don't want it. So that's how we deal with a lot of that. And then the other hot spots are, of course, just being sensitive with the people that are receiving food. We want to treat them with dignity, right? Because
did you start with one community and move out? Did you always do everything? Like, how did that process go?
It started pretty much one community, one donor, 2 donors, 2 communities, and now it's blossomed and it works. Now what we need are more vehicles. That's really that's our next step. So our first year, about 1.5 years old, locally founded in March of 2016. And I've kind of looked at everything we've done, still even almost up to this January, as a pilot, as proof.
Right.
And now what we've been able to do is we've been able to physically prove that the food waste is there, and that, you know, when I walk into a hotel and an executive chef says, I have no food waste, that you do, and it doesn't matter if it's 10 kilos or 100 kilos, it's still food waste, and the more people I get on board, the more 10 kilos matters, so forth and so forth.
Sure.
So I've proved that the food is there and that the waste is there, and that it's not a hard process. Actually, we've found that like some of the stewarding teams in hotels were making their job easier because they have less wet, heavy garbage.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They save money from that.
Right. Tesco Lotus has built into their KPIs for their store managers into donating. You know, things like that. We've proven the food is there, we've proven that the process is not impossible, and we've proven that the need is there and the hunger is there. And maybe there aren't starving people, but they will take the cost offset.
Right.
They will take being remembered. It's kind of fun, and that they enjoy the difference in their diet and the variety that we're able to bring. Halfway home for men, I got 180 kilos of frozen salmon from a restaurant that was changing menu. We brought it out, we made fish balls. They had never had salmon before. So it was like this really special moment for them.
Right.
You know, so yeah, we're providing meals and nutrition, but we're also, you know, just showing that.
Give them a nice night out, like in a way. It's like, right?
Yeah, it's like they see our truck coming and they're like, oh my God, maybe it's going to be a really cool dessert today, or it's something different than they have every day.
Now, legally, how difficult was this? Were there the laws in place? I mean, how open is the Thai society, Bangkok, to a foreigner coming in and setting this up? Because
we do have a foreign, we have a mixed Thai and foreign board.
Okay.
We are locally registered.
Okay.
We're a Thai foundation.
Okay.
That process to get the local registration start to finish was about 9 months, and as we say, pain mock, very expensive, but well worth it. Pain mock. And then I'm the only Westerner on staff.
Okay.
So even like my one American staff, she's half Thai, she grew up in a Thai household, she's fluent. I'm the only Westerner on staff. I try to stay off the camera as much as possible, and like when we do local news articles, it's featuring the Thai staff.
Right.
And in Thailand, as much as like there's also respect with the foreign with the foreign foundation. Now for me, I had also been here for 4 years, and I had also worked in hotels for 4 years, and to speak a little bit of Thai, was kind of able to win over respect. And then a lot of our corporates that we're going through, most 5-star executive hotel chefs are European here, right? So I set it up, and then my Thai staff comes in with their Thai staff and knocks it down.
Okay.
And then working with the mixed refugees who are used to working with UN, with asylum access, which has so they were pretty used to it already.
Right.
Some of our biggest blockades have been, I don't want to say Thai, I want to say Southeast Asian here, perception of what food waste is, changing the language over to surplus, that it's not dirty.
Yeah.
I feel like culturally all over the world we have this big problem where, oh my God, if we donate food, you're going to sue us, everybody's going to get food poisoning. It's an urban legend, essentially. It really doesn't happen. One of my partner foundations has been operating in this sphere for 14 years, over 1 billion meals served, and not a single claim.
Wow.
They've also been able to change the laws in Australia to include food donors under Good Samaritan.
Sure.
It's something that we're looking at doing here. Right now, I offer contracts to each food donor that guarantees that we accept liability if there is an issue, and we can do that because honestly, there's not going to be an issue. I really firmly believe that.
Yeah.
We do have global insurance, but I really firmly believe we're not going to have an issue.
So even though it's potentially the hottest thing, it's something that you don't worry about.
I mean, I worry about it, but we practice HACCP standards. I'm HACCP certified. I have a full-time food hygienist on staff. We don't take the right things. We train the people donating food.
So you trust your process?
We trust our process.
Yeah. Okay.
We trust our process. We train our communities receiving food as well. It's not, there was nothing half-assed about this, right? It was really well thought through. And it's been really well thought through in other programs in the world, and it just, you trust your process. And honestly, you can get food poisoning ordering at the table at a 5-star hotel, just as you can get it in street food, just as you can get it anywhere in the world. So we trust our process just as much as you do sitting down at a restaurant and ordering a meal.
How do volunteers support your organization? Who makes the best, like, do you use volunteers on a regular basis? How are they part of your operation?
We've done a couple. So first off, we take interns. Usually the interns are admin, are Facebook, social media, like doing cute little projects that we want to do that are itching in the back of our head, but like nobody had time to make a sliding scale so our staff can see how close we're getting to our food capture goal. Like they bring a lot of light and energy to the office too normally, and it's always great to have somebody. So internships have functioned really, really well for us. We've taken volunteers on web design and on different projects like that, which functions pretty well and is fun. We are having problems. I don't even know how else to say it. We're absolutely having problems. We're having problems with people canceling last minute. We're having problems with people taking photos of their own things and posting it on social media. And then we need to...
So what's the background of your average volunteer? Are they Thai? Are they foreign?
The college students born here, but maybe a foreign background is a huge section of the population. Thai people returning home is a huge section of the population. And then all of our refugees want to volunteer, which is amazing.
Right.
So we kind of use refugee volunteers on site to help sort and pack and distribute. That works well, but they can't go out in the truck all day, really. We've also found some great success with volunteers of spousal expats. So they're on a spousal visa, so they can't work, but they can only give so much time to legally. It's complicated, I guess. Finding good volunteer help is not easy.
What are some of the challenges you face, and like how have you? Because managing volunteers is a process. It really is. It's no different than budgeting. You ask for 5 people, you're going to get 3. Like, how do you? What's the process you've tried to create?
We've tried to create by-month volunteer trainings, right? Which happen right in this living room. 10 or 15 kids come in, we pull out a whiteboard, we sign them up for days, we go through food safety standards, safe lifting, community sensitivities, all of that kind of stuff. They sign up on the whiteboard, we follow up with email. I'm learning that might not be a great process though. It's not enough. And honestly, I would love something like what you do to help us manage volunteers. It's really it's really hard, man.
Yes. But
I thought it's supposed to make my life better, but it makes it worse almost every single time.
That's the irony of volunteering. So how good are you with your cash flow? Like how in touch with you are, and I found this out, so about 2 years ago I nearly spiked my nonprofit. I had about a 4-month window, and I mean we were headed straight into the earth. And I realized there's a big difference between sales and cash flow.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like it's huge. So how do you know that?
I do all the forecasting. I am on it. I am picky about receipts. I'm watching it all the time. And no, when I say that we have X amount for this program for this month, there's usually a buffer in there. I build buffers in all over the place. I always, when I look at fundraising, I forecast on the fact that what this person that's going to do this campaign for me, he's going to raise me $1 million baht. I put in my forecast 25,000 baht. You know what I mean? I don't put anything in my forecast until I have ink on paper. Like so, there's no pipe dreams in it.
Yes, I have 3 sheets, and one is current, and that's what I've booked and I know exact numbers for. Then there's realistic, when I'm pretty confident I can sell through, and the other one's potential. And it's like, this is not just the revenue side, but it's also how many people can I add. And like when they want to raise, I start to bake the raise in, and that way I can figure out like how many months do I have at present, right? And I start hyperventilating under 6. I start losing hair at 3. I start losing my doctorate.
The end, when I do my end of 3rd quarter books, I mean, I should be hiding under my table with a bottle of wine going, oh God, I gotta fire everybody.
At least you don't end that sentence with again.
Again, no. Right? And it's never, and that's what buffers are about, right? So there's bonuses aren't guaranteed.
Yeah.
Right? Now, are they all sitting on my forecast? Like they're all going to happen 100% at all times? Yes.
Yeah.
And then that gives me a whole month of let's say something goes horribly wrong, that gives me a month that I can, there's things in there, there's stuff in there, like we know that our refrigeration is often in kind, or we're working on getting trucks in kind now, but I still build my budgets and forecasts like I'm paying full price for that. That's a lot of ways that I manage it. And by telling my staff that we have less money than we do.
Yeah. So this gets into the idea of scale, and I think we'll kind of close it out here.
Great.
Everyone's like, you gotta scale, you gotta do more, bigger impact, more people, more trucks, more this, more that. How do you approach scale?
How do I approach scale?
Because you do this as the pilot, right? So
we're still in pilot, and I'm like looking at like the real thing being like I've proven it. Now we know stuff like for every US dollar we spend, I can provide 4 meals, right? That's the fuel I need for fundraising. Now I know that I've operated for almost over a year, and we haven't had any food poisoning cases. Now I can say that, right? I can really say that, so now I can sell it stronger and better. Chicken egg is a huge problem in what I'm doing here, right? I have the truck waiting in the wings and the staff sitting there with nothing to pick up while I'm out pitching to hotels? Or do I get the hotels on board and tell them that I can work wonders, and then when they call me and say, can you start on Tuesday and it's Monday, I say, hey, who can go buy a truck today and hire a staff? So we're kind of balancing on that right now. I'm at the point where I'm at capacity, and I'm still selling and the program to more food donors, and what I'm saying is I'm going to get another truck, which we are, in the beginning of 2018, and then we would like to start your program on this day or this day. I also don't pick up new communities or new food donors at the same time. So like example, Hilton started on the 1st. Chatrium will start on the 15th. We've got a new recipient community then starting on the 25th, once I know that that's all there and okay. So that's kind of some of the stuff that I'm doing. And just praying, there's a lot of praying. I say to the kids, I call my staff the kids. Every day I kind of walk in and I put my purse down and I'm like, all right, what are we doing to get to the end of the day? Because if we can get to the end of the day, we can get to the end of the week. We can get to the end of the week, we can get to the end of the month. And then eventually we're going to get to the end of the year. And if we just keep doing the right thing every day, and if we just keep communicating, and if we just keep pushing ourselves, our other team members, our donors, our recipient communities appropriately and just a little bit, we're going to make progress. And if you're doing the right thing, the money's going to come. The stuff is going to come. It's like, I know it feels like, I tell them, I'm like talking to you, this is like my staff pep talk. I'm like, I know today felt really hard, but we did it. And it wasn't impossible. It wasn't maybe graceful.
Landing.
But we got to the end of the day. So now when this problem comes up again, we're going to be able to get to the end of the day with a little more grace. And then we're going to be able to prove our numbers. And then we're going to get more.